Overcoming isometrics. So just to kind of break it down for people who don't know, that would be like me getting under a bar, like I'm going to do a squat. And let's say I position the bar. It's almost like I came out of the hole. So I'm not at the full bottom squat. I'm kind of up a little bit, but it looks like I'm about, I just started the rep and I'm sitting under the bar, and the bar is, let's say it's loaded with weight that I could never lift, or it's pushing up against chains that are, bolted to the floor. And then I squat and I push into this bar that there's no way I can lift. And so I just push as hard as I can, maintaining good technique and good form. That's what overcoming isometrics is.
All right. Sal and Adam, Mind Pump Podcast. I like these boys. I like the topics that they hit. I like the way they talk. Talking about isometrics, he was showing some of the old school isometrics, which were done, well, it's not old school. Old school was done manually with a towel against a wall, against a column, things like that, against objects, okay? Then we started doing it with bars, and the bars, empty bars with safety pins. And if, for example, if you're weak on your bench press off your chest, the isometric would be done off the chest. If you're weak in the transition, isometric would be done in the middle. If you're weak on the lockout, it would be done in the lockout, and the same thing would be done with all the lifts, pull down, squats, deadlifts, everything. So isometric is nothing new. You can also do it with a loaded bar, like Cal Ditz does in his triphasic training. And Cal takes isometrics to a different level. We don't take it to that level, but if you want isometric strength, Cal Ditz is another crazy guy. But he goes with 800 pounds, 600 pounds, 500 pounds. So you can do it with an empty bar in a loaded area with a pin, a fixed area with a pin or something like that. Or you can do it with a loaded bar. You can do it with 110% of your 1RM. The problem with that is getting in and out of the lift. For example, let's say that you can squat 300 pounds and you're going with an isometric halfway down with 330, okay, which is 10% of 300 is 30. So you're going 330. All right. Getting it up, no problem. Coming down with 110% of your lift, you better have some safeties. Because after 5 to 10 seconds of that, if you can't come back up, you're going to be in trouble. So I kind of, I don't do that too much with that 110. But I will take 90% of my 1RM, 80% of my 1RM, and hold it for 10, 15 seconds. And I have found that it doesn't kill the body as much. You get great strength modality. And at the end of the day, guys, how much strength do you need? And that's one of the conversations that Cal and I were having. I don't need 800-pound squat strength. I don't need that. So I can use isometrics right to the event without killing my people. Why does it work? Think about this. If you're in isometric, and let's say that you have the optimal interaction of actin and myosin of muscle fibers, okay? If you're stretched out here, there's not enough to engage. If you're fully contracted here, there's not enough to move. So this is where the sweet spot, okay? Dr. Seidman, for example, says that 90-90. I don't believe in the whole 90-90 thing, but he's onto a little something, because that 90-90 in a lot of different areas gives you that optimal interaction where you can get maximal force out of it. When you're doing this reps, even if you're Dr. Mike's nice and controlled and big eccentric for the bodybuilding thing, all right, you're only seeing that interaction for a millisecond. It's only transitional. When you're doing isometrics, you get whatever angle and you're banging that angle for 10 seconds. Serious time under tension at your maximum output, okay? That's why it's so effective. And it's got a little bleed over of anywhere between 2.5 degrees to each side for maximum, all the way to 15 and 15. So the bleed over is anywhere between 5 to 30%. Of course, when you get down to 15 on each side, the transfer is not much. The heavy transfer is in a tight window there. I would say 5 to 10 degrees, okay? You're gonna get maximum strength because you are fixed where you want it and you're banging maximum effort. That's why isometric is so effective and super effective for rehabilitation and for arthritic people. Why? Because it doesn't involve this. For tendon strength, because it doesn't involve that. It involves this, where it doesn't hurt. You select the range where it doesn't hurt, and you can train tendons, ligaments, bones, cartilage without rubbing the cartilage. So that's why isometrics is one of our favorite. Now, that's the short explanation. If you really want the humdinger presentation of the isometrics, The one we just gave in Brazil, that was an hour long, write ISO down below. And if enough of you write ISO, I'm going to come at it with a big presentation.